Welcome everybody. Welcome to the E&T All-Staff virtual meeting for the month of January. The theme of this meeting is looking back as well as looking ahead. So more details to come on that shortly. We have a bit of an updated process now that we're using the Zoom webinar feature. So we just want to make sure that everybody has a reminder here that if you want to submit questions for the Q&A at the end of the session, use the Zoom webinar Q&A feature, which is located at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. As well, if you see a question that you wanted to ask you can click the thumbs up icon to upvote it. That way we can be sure we prioritize that question because we know that there's multiple people interested in the answer. All right, and then we want to make sure that you all know you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest of information. So our E&T intranet site is updated weekly, and there are COVID resources there, campus news, as well as all of the happenings going on within the department, news and updates and information that you can really use and benefit from. As well, here is our website with a hyperlink for E&T operational updates, and this will go out with the recording, so you can click on the link after the webinar is over, or if any of your colleagues missed it, let them know that they can take a look at this and use the information as well. The website here for UCLA COVID-19 updates. All right, and without further ado, I'll go ahead and kick it over to Lisa Corbleen, our Interim Executive Director.
Thank you, Gina. Welcome, everyone. I want to take the opportunity before we get started just to thank everybody for all the work this past fall quarter. It was our first fully normalized, very, very busy fall quarter, and I know everyone put in a lot of work to make it go well. I also want to thank everyone who moved out of the suites 102 and 106. The Basic Needs Center is now fully open over there. They had a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago. And if you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at it, you should pop over and see everything they're doing to serve our students who have economic issues. And with that, I'm going to introduce all of our new E&T employees. First, I want to welcome Giovanni Rodriguez. He's the new Fleet and Motor Pool Analyst in Fleet and Transit. Then we have Melissa Del Haro Lopez, who's the new Purchasing and Accounts Payable Analyst in Finance Systems and Analytics. We have Ryland Yu, who's the new Senior Traffic Planner for Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems. We have Zachary Gunning, who is a new Bruin Bus Transit Operator in Fleet and Transit. And the last of our new employees right now is Tarek Ramsey, who is an Event Manager in the Events Office. Welcome, everybody, and we hope you enjoy your employment with us. We're a great group of people. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Ariana Ortiz-Atkins.
Thank you, Lisa. So my name is Ariana Ortiz-Atkins, and I will be presenting for Central Administration. The department continues to make progress on improvements from the work environment survey that was deployed this past spring. We'd like you to remain informed of the progress on the 4 main projects. The first project dealt with the increase the satisfaction surrounding total pay and compensation by completing and providing affected staff members with compensation equity reviews and stipends when appropriate. The equity compensation process team has now finalized the standard operating procedure for the compensation equity review and has begun holding small group sessions with management to educate them and gain feedback. The goal of the second project was to increase employee engagement, morale, and sense of E&T community by holding intentional social activities for employees. So first, thank you to all who completed the social activities survey that was administered to the department this past fall. This helped to gauge interest in what social activities members of staff are interested in. And as a result of the survey, this work group and TOD have created a list of social activities that everyone can attend throughout the year. The list is is a work in progress, and we are still looking for volunteers who would like to host events such as social lunches for their unit, happy hours, and activities outside of work hours. As part of this project, we will also be delivering social activities baskets to various E&T locations soon. They will include things like games and different puzzles for you to enjoy during your break times with your colleagues. The goal of the third project was to establish a norm of corresponding during core business hours. This would allow for an enhanced sense of work-life balance. This work group has overseen 3 different micro trainings to provide quick technical tips on how to utilize the schedule send and do not disturb features on devices. This work group is also working on communications to the department that will address best practices during non-work hours, including guidance on responding to after-hours messages and emergencies. The guides and micro trainings for the message delay features are available in the training library on the E&T intranet. They include trainings on Outlook, Teams, and the Do Not Disturb feature for cell phones. And finally, Project 4. The goal of this project was to practice engaging, empathetic, and proactive leadership, encouraging all staff members to communicate any struggles without judgment. Managers are setting up frequent check-in meetings to connect with staff and to support them. This work group is working on culture development with the following principles: to be open, honest, and upfront, as this helps to eliminate unknowns, share information with staff about where the work unit is headed, and team meetings are being restructured to allow time for non-work related topics. The Spring Tag-Along program is back by popular demand. This program will run March 14th to May 16th this year. The application period is January 30th to February 17th. For more details and links, see the January 24th E&T News Bulletin. Health and Human Resources would like to remind you of a few items. First, remember to review your contact information in UC Path, including emergency contacts, and update them if needed. Please submit your proof of COVID-19 vaccination or opt-out form by February 1st to the UCLA COVID-19 Action Center. And EDI at E&T team are hosting weekly office hours on Tuesday afternoons in person and Thursday mornings virtually. There are various topics such as open discussions, what is EDI, all about the Civil Rights Office functions, and more. Please visit the intranet to review topics and dates. Self-approving Kronos time cards is mandatory. For monthly and biweekly employees with remote timestamp access, you will edit and self-approve your time card on your last working day of the pay period. Supervisors and managers, please ensure that your staff has self-approved before you approve their time cards. Please note that this does not apply to employees that swipe in at the Kronos clock. And lastly, the E&T intranet site on SharePoint has been updated with quite a few items lately. This includes the template library, which provides several useful resources, models, and agendas to help aid in the management of projects and meetings. You can download the resource that best suits your own needs and make it your own. Org charts, central services survey scores, and the E&T photo directory can now be found on the intranet. To view these changes, visit the E&T SharePoint site under the Resources heading. And now lastly, we are hiring. If you or anyone you know are interested in these E&T job positions, please visit the UCLA Careers website for more information. Thank you, everyone, and I will pass it on to Bill from the Events Office.
Thanks, Ariana. My name is Bill Sweeney, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about what the Events Office has been up to last quarter, as well as talk about some activities coming up. So the Events Office is in transit. As Lisa mentioned, our team moved out of the Strathmore Suite 106 in August, and we continue to be temporarily based in the Flex Space area, Suite 126. We're all looking forward to our new permanent workstation area in Suite 108 later this year. I wanted to thank Parking Assets and Facilities Management for all their assistance and coordination work in getting our new work area set up. Fall quarter in 2022 was certainly busy for us across the board for all types of event clients we had. In terms of our student event clients, some of the highlights included the Enormous Activities Fair, pictured at the bottom right, the Exploring Your Universe Science Outreach Fair, which is in the bottom left, the Beat SC Rally, and the Student Welfare Commission Health Fair, which featured a mini petting zoo in Wilson Plaza. Departmental and external events also kept us busy in the fall quarter. The highlights included the Bruin Family Weekend, the rally for Karen Bass featuring Vice President Kamala Harris, and the LA Cancer Challenge 5K. I'd like to especially give a shout out to our partners in commuter and parking services for all their assistance in all these events, especially the LA Cancer Challenge 5K, which would not have been possible without road closures and traffic control and the detailed planning, which they were all a part of. I also want to mention too, for our student events, our scheduling unit, Leah Corrado and Stacy Tate, they're kind of the unsung heroes of the events office, but they schedule dozens and dozens of student meetings in all the general assignment classrooms at the UCLA events office. So thanks, Leah and Stacy. Film shoots came back as well. In December of 2022, it was an especially busy month for the campus film shoots. As the academic year came to a close, the events office managed multiple film shoots within a 2-week period. These included HBO's The Sympathizer, commercials for Frito-Lay and Apple, and a music video by the K-pop band TNX. Commencement is here already. So commencement planning is underway, with the events office currently finalizing the 2023 schedule and planning the February commencement coordinators meeting. With US Open Golf Tournament impacting parking structures 2 and 3, in-person commencement support to help our guests navigate parking in the campus will make UCLA shine. So I encourage all staff to keep your eyes out for the Events and Transportation All Hands on Deck commencement volunteer information. Thanks very much. And now I pass it off to Prachi Balaji.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. My name is Prachi Balaji, and I'm presenting for FSA team. Due to California Supreme Court ruling, UCLA began collecting parking occupancy tax on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, effective this month. E&T does not retain this tax revenue. We simply collect it on behalf of the city and remit the tax to them, and this 10% tax is collected on all parking fees. Transactional level details for operating statement and variance report can now be viewed using Smart View forms, effective November 2022. This feature allows user to view breakdown for each category listed under the statements. Finance is currently working with the department leads and managers to create FY24 budget. Please work with the finance and accounting team to submit a purchase requisition to ensure compliance with the university policy before ordering any product or services with a vendor. The E&T has made 4 such requests to Michael Back for his approval in the past 6 months, compared to none in the prior few years. The department will no longer accept such requests for deviation from the policy and making unauthorized financial commitment. To migrate the Fleet Anywhere software application from an on-premise environment to a cloud-hosted environment, TPMG has been working with the Fleet Transit team and Asset Work to install and configure a new billing module, along with fuel interface and customer access portal. Migrating to cloud will allow for more standard functionality to be utilized rather than our current complicated customized processes. The project has been ongoing for some time, but subtle improvements have been made during this time and continued efforts are made daily. One bill consolidates students' tuition fee, housing fee, and parking fee on Ruin Bill, which is the billing platform for the campus. One bill interface was deployed on November 9th, 2022. On a nightly basis, student parking and transit charges are posted to students' bill automatically. A new Agile Fleet motor pool box and kiosk has been installed at Structure 4. The team plans to perform a soft launch with the Cultural and Recreational Affairs in the upcoming weeks. This pilot will be instrumental in using the motor pool program across the campus departments rather than the costly maintenance of individual vehicle ownership. Currently, TPMG is gathering requirement and performing re-engineering to look for streamlining complex rules for the transit portal replacement. Soon, analysis will be made for a sustainable solution for the portal. The team is looking to use a third-party cloud solution rather than using an internal customer-built platform. TPMG worked with TripShot to install automated passenger count system on 12 buses that keeps track of count of individuals boarding and deboarding buses. This provides passenger usage per route and location. Join Bella Cha for virtual training series on the fundamentals of project management. The first session is on Thursday, January 26th from 10 to 11 a.m. If you have any questions and would like to sign up, please contact Bella Cha. IT group worked with Ski Data to upgrade the campus Ski Data hardware and software. The ID applications team developed a new ID asset solution using SharePoint. All the laptops for the departments have been imported, and other assets will be imported at a later point. The IT team is working with a consulting company to plan a major upgrade for storage area network compliance and for backup and recovery solution along with VMware environment. The goal is to stabilize the on-premise environment before migrating to Microsoft Azure. TPMG is managing the project to rewrite the customized and outdated driver management system. Decision has been made to contract a third-party vendor, Urgency, that will assist with building the new driver management system in Salesforce. Currently, the statement of work is under review. Audit and advisory services selected this project to be an advisory project. Analytics will be migrating from our current Tableau server, the Data Labs, to the campus instance of Tableau server in March. This move saves licensing costs and provides enhanced feature to its users. E&T will have access to this at no cost. Celia Chung has worked to support the upcoming pilot for fare-free transit, including preliminary scope analysis in partnership with MPTS and the generation of the first eligibility list to be used for this important program. Last season, parking moved away from an in-lane sales for basketball. Dylan and Celia led a detailed analysis for the revenue impact of this decision last year. Building on this analysis from last year, Tim has looked at the trends for this season. Analytics team will use data from Ski Data transaction to understand any anomalies and use that to push email notifications to alert the medical operations and CRM team regarding any malfunction in Ski Data or Bruin e-permit portal. A timely alert allows the team to act sooner to fix the problem. With that, thank you very much, and I'll pass it on to Abdullah Dubasi.
Thanks, Prachi. If anything is switched, I would appreciate the one kind of thing. So anyway, morning everyone. I'm going to go into updates from MPTS, starting with notable happenings in the fall. So Lyft bikes and scooters have scooted out of UCLA, which was due to Lyft shutting down its scooter and bike operations in LA in general. Bird and Wheels are, however, still operating on campus as a viable micromobility option for Bruin. And in fact, Bird rides have more than doubled between fall 2019 and fall 2022, demonstrating the continuing popularity of such a mode on campus. Now onto infrastructure projects completed last quarter. Speed cushions have been added on Strathmore under the bridge in order to reduce speeds and make campus safer for everyone. And bike lanes have been added on CEY South between Westwood and Gailey to make UCLA more bike-friendly and enhance our application for obtaining a platinum designation as a bike-friendly university. Both these infrastructure improvements make campus safer for all transportation modes, especially active transportation, which of course encourages the use of such modes. Now into some good news for transit. LA Metro resumed pre-pandemic service in December, making service much more reliable and convenient, especially relative to the instability of transit service over the past 3 years. This was a long time coming, but was delayed a few times due to the chronic bus driver shortage, which now shows signs of easing at our municipal transit partners. This of course makes transit a much more competitive mobility option for commuters. Now let's get into some notable happenings to look out for later this academic year. Metro Bike Share is planning to add additional stations at Weyburn and Drake Stadium in February, with more to come at different East Lake properties later this spring, so be sure to be on the lookout for those. Our unit is also coordinating a project to set up a base for Metro Micro, LA Metro's microtransit service, for the Westwood UCLA zone at Lot 11 for van parking and a trailer to house the service's dispatch operations. As the Metro Micro program soon moves from a pilot program to a permanent Metro program, we are continuing to work with Metro staff on setting up the Westwood program in Lot 11, but we're holding on the trailer installation until we get final word that the program has moved to permanent status. We're also working with student representatives to increase access to fare-free transit within the student body. For the GSA, the Graduate Student Association, graduate student leaders are in full support of having the Bruin Grad Pass renewed, which sunsets at the end of this academic year. Due to the immense popularity of such a program with grads, it has been, as I said, approved to be on the, or we expect it to be approved to be on the referendum, and the department is prepared to provide the support and resources it can to ensure that it passes. With the undergrads, we are working with student leaders to get a similar referendum on the USAC battle, or the Undergraduate Student Association Council USAC ballot this spring, which would be the first of its kind for that undergraduate student body. And the department is again providing the support and guidance to get such a referendum on the ballot. Supporting such referendums enhances equity and sustainable mode use on campus by increasing access to and making transit more affordable to a broader segment of the student body at UCLA. Regarding enhancing transit, our unit is working to roll out an LADOT 20 ride pass, which will be another per ride pass option on a commuter agency similar to the currently offered AVTA 10 ride pass. This gives flexibility to more occasional transit riders that a time-bound pass doesn't, and fits neatly with the daily decision-making push, especially in the hybrid work environment adopted by the department and most of campus as a whole. While we're offering these new, we'll be offering these new LADOT 20 ride passes on all zones on the transit portal starting next month. So be sure to look out for that if you live in the areas where these services operate. We're also happy to report that Long Beach Transit is going to restore service to 3 runs in the PM and 3 in the AM, which will affect the same number of runs as pre-COVID, making service much more convenient and more accessible to a larger swath of the campus population, given the significant number of Bruins who live and commute from Long Beach, and so, given that there are a significant number of Bruins who live and commute in Long Beach and its surrounding. That's all from my end, and now on to Liz from F&P.
Thank you so much, Abdallah. My name is Elizabeth Stocks, and I'm representing the Fleet and Transit Department. I'm thrilled to announce that we now have an on-site auto parts vendor, and this is an extensive parts catalog on campus, which allows for quicker parts procurement and reduces vehicle downtime. So this will be streamlining our repair process and will allow for faster communication between maintenance team members. So you'll get your vehicles back faster. We have successfully installed telematics in all of our UCLA vehicles. These telematics provide innovative real-time vehicle tracking. And what we really love is it's providing collision detection and notification. So it's keeping our whole students and faculty staff safer. And this will help reduce our environmental impacts. And our goal is that it'll also improve our financials. We have made lots of enhancements to Bruin Car. We are very thrilled. We now have a dedicated Bruin Car coordinator and a lot attendant. We now have 10 electric carts in our fleet, And since there's a lot of events people on this call, I would like to recommend putting all of your orders in now for any carts or any Bruin car vehicles at this time for the whole year, as they are filling up very quickly. We are undergoing in the near future panel replacements for both Structure 4 and Structure 8 for the Bruin car kiosk. So this will allow for a lot easier removal of the keys from the kiosk. And what's really wonderful, it's going to have a lot more key slots. So this will help with our expansion of motor pool. We have a few transit updates for in-house transit. So we now have our transit schedules available for use by commercial transit apps. As you can see here on the right, there's a sample. And then we have begun providing bus service for our students at the Geffen Academy, particularly for the athletics team. We are undergoing transit fleet electrification. So we have two new Flyer electric buses arriving this June. Concurrently, we're upgrading our charging capacity at the transit yard. And it is expected that 80% and more of our bus miles will be electric. We also have expanded capacity for hospital patient transport. And then finally, I wanted to mention UCLA Safe Ride has extended hours now, so operations extending through midnight, Monday through Thursday. And then accessible vehicles will be available during all service hours. And now I will pass it on. Thank you, everyone. And I'll pass it on to Matt and Wright.
Right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Matt Enright, and I'm going to be presenting for the Commuter and Parking Services. And I'm going to start off with our student parking trends from fall and winter quarters. There has been a big increase in our permit offers and purchases, especially compared to fall of 2019, our kind of last standard quarter. For fall of 2019, for example, we had a little over 2,300 offers and a little over 1,800 purchases at that time. But for this past fall, we had over 3,200 offers and over 2,400 purchases, and slightly lower numbers for winter, but still a very big increase compared to 3 years ago. Also on that, the daily parking trend has made a very big shift. Our daily permit sales have increased significantly, and this is primarily due to the new hybrid work schedules and student eligibility. Just for comparison, our daily e-permit sales in October 2019 was about 7,700. And for this past October 2022, that number is up to over 50,000. So it's a very big change for us in the way people choose the parking when they come to campus. And for the first time last winter, the winter quarter, the students were allowed to buy the daily discounted parking on an unlimited basis. And Tiana Chan from the data analytics team has taken a deep dive on the student behavior here. And that analysis is going to be included on the state of the commute. With this shift in the daily decision, space management and monitoring are very critical. And our operations team daily space counting is a key component to maintaining space availability and providing data for trend analysis. Here's a graph that Tim Benuelos at Data Analytics put together, just kind of illustrating the big change when we started with Bruin e-permit back in 2019 and the shift in our daily e-permit purchases, and that big change that you can see also with the student activity as you get into last year, 2022, through the end of this year. So big changes there. In addition, our campus event activity is increasing. We're definitely seeing more requests for our parking space during the weekday campus business hours. On our permit side, we've added new fee logic to our quarterly and annual permits, and this standardized the fee and refund proration in Flex. We also had Pardot launched in Salesforce. It's providing a better communication distribution and tracking for our commuter and parking services operational purposes. An example of that is when we send out a student parking application and payment reminders. This allows us to have confirmation of receipt of our communications and the customer actions when when you just review that. Also, in coordination with Emily Hahn and MPTS, we brought back Earn a Bike, the Sustainable Transportation Program, and reestablished our relationships with the local bike vendors that help us with that. We've also finalized the Guaranteed Ride Home, which was previously the Emergency Ride Home program, and their students are now eligible to participate in that program. For citation and review and adjudication, they are now fully remote. The vehicle booting and bike impound processes have been updated. Our in-person customer interactions with CRA staff is no longer needed to be resolving those issues. We've also had a new report developed for Santa Monica Hospital adjudication, and this clarifies costs to adjudicate those citations, and it's more efficient for follow-up and updates. For our winter and spring outlook, we're looking to evaluate Blue permit space use and be able to determine if Blue permit eligibility should be expanded to more of our campus participants. We'll also be doing the spring quarter student parking application and purchase period. That's coming up in February and March. And also coming up is our annual permit renewal processing. On our Broome Commuter Programs projects side, we currently have a list of 60 active and pending projects. We're assigning these projects priorities high, medium, or low, and the top 10 of these projects have the highest priority. And we have updates to that list as projects are completed, is allowing better project tracking for us. And with that, I will hand it over to Robin Bell.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great out there. Let's see. Okay, so I'm excited to take this opportunity to acknowledge and recognize a lot of our employees have been doing some amazing things in the organization by going above and beyond their job duties. So if you didn't get a chance to see them in one of our E&T news bulletins or maybe on the TV screens, we're going to now take a quick moment to recognize and highlight their achievements and their smiling faces. So we're going to kick it off by going over our Employee of the Month recipients from the last time we met. So kicking it off, we have Edgar Funes from our Med Center Valet. He was our August Employee of the Month recipient, along with Luis Lopez, who is from Commuter and Parking Services Administration. Moving right along, for the month of September, we have Courtney Oboyehi, who is from our Assets team, and Matt Enright, who is from Commuter and Parking Services. For the month of October, we have Fatia Ishmael, also representing our valet team, and Judy Ponce from our transit operations. For the month of November, we have Luana Dansby from transit operation and Giovanni Barrientos from our assets team. And then, of course, closing out the year, we have Aisha Broussard, also from our transit operations, and Brian Campillo, who is from Commuter and Parking Services. So those were for our career staff. So not to be outshined, we have our Student Employee of the Month recipients. So we are going to kick that off with, let's see, excuse me, with Safa Salim, and she is from our Med Center Valet area, and she was our Student Employee of the Month for August. We have Victoria Otuya from our Assets team, and she was our Student Employee of the Month for September. Ariel Norton, also from our Assets team, was our October Student Employee of the Month, along with Christopher Smith, also from our Assets team for the month of November, and Melanie Alarcon Cisneros from our Med Center Valet team, who closed out the year for December. So let's just all give them a virtual high five, a virtual applause, whatever it might be. If you see them in the hallway with their smiling faces or in the operational areas, please give them a pat on the back, because they really went above and beyond and did some exceptional things for our organization. So now I'm going to kick it over to Steve Wang, who is going to handle the questions and answer portion of our program. So stay tuned.
Thanks, Robin. And by the way, thank you to all of you speakers today. You did an outstanding job. For those of you who submitted questions via the Q&A function here, almost all of them have been responded to with typed answers. So if you haven't already, please take a look at those. There is one open item left, and that is the question, are they not going to fill the executive director position until after November? So I will defer to our interim executive director, Lisa Corbling, to answer that.
My understanding is the date in the bulletin is just far enough out that they didn't have to keep renewing it. Their intention is to start, they hired a search firm this time, and their intention is to try and do interviews in March and have someone start in May or latest early June. So it is not the intention to leave it until next November, thankfully. Although that wouldn't be my problem, would it? And then, Steve, I just want to correct you. I don't know why it happened, but Prachi wanted to answer a question live, but for some reason it rolled into the answered section. So
I believe Eric provided an answer to that.
Oh, is that why?
I did respond. Yeah.
Never mind, because it said Prachi wanted to answer live. Ignore me.
No problem. Okay, I mean, that's it for Q&A questions. Unless any of you in the audience, if you still have a question, type it in real fast. We'll see it and we'll try to answer it right now. Otherwise, again, thank you to all who came and participated. Thank you to all who presented today. I'm still stalling to see if anyone's typing slowly. Otherwise, okay, I guess maybe, Rob and Gina, do you want me to hand it back to you? Any final words? Or actually, I should ask, is anyone on the panel, did they want to expand, live on any of the questions and answers that were already provided? For those of you who don't know, we've got a lot of side conversations going on when these questions come in.
I would just say that the two transit questions, my fingers were busy typing, and check out the answered tab in the question and answer window, and you'll see lots of updated info on transit.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, no one else. I guess that does it. Robin, Gina.
Oh, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this. We'll give you 20 minutes of your day back. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.